Hey everyone, this is Andrea Harbison coming from Nashville, Tennessee here. I'm going to be showing you a few new things with our lightning. So this whole class today is basically to introduce you to the world of Prorituals and our metallic series, our highlight series, and things like that. Okay, so what we've done already is we've got our model set up. We pre-lightened her first before the class, okay? So she was probably at level 7 when we started, which I have taken before pictures. I think we might have a photo or it's on the Prorituals professional users page to show her before picture. So basically what I did is I took our blue lightener. I'm going to show you that. Our blue lightener and 20 volume. Okay. And then I mixed that with a little bit of our dream oil. So, and I just want to tell you all how amazing this particular product is. I put it in all of my color, all of my lightener, just to keep the bleach hydrated. Because the thing is, we put lightener on, and if you process for a certain period of time, a lot of times it can lose that juice, or it will begin to dry out. So this helps you process for a longer amount of time or the appropriate time for your client to make sure that you can get to the level of lift that we need. So we've got her pre-lightened. We took her back to the sink. I shampooed her with clarifying, and then I prepped her for the toning process, okay? So I don't know if William had told you about this, but we did have a product in our line called Hydrate. I use that as a great prep for the hair as well. I put it in my lightener, in my color. We don't have the new packaging yet, but I just want to show you the process of what I did initially. And I did put a little bit of the Hydrate in her hair after the clarification process. And then I prepped her with the spray treat, okay? So what I did was just kind of disperse this evenly all throughout her hair. On the other side, I'm going to spin you around. All right, so what I'm going to also do is have the camera do a little close-up of how gorgeous her hair lifted, okay? All the way around. Did a little pre-lift all throughout. Got her all prepped. And now we are going to add her metallic toner using the Prorituals 9GB. Okay, so that is our glacial blonde. And what I'm going to actually do also is have the camera spin to our products here and show you this on the swatch as well while I'm mixing this up. So these are our metallic series, super light series, high lift series. Just giving you a little bit of a close-up on that there. So when I'm toning, I like to make sure that the hair is prepped and ready to go. Also, a big thing with toners is, this is probably the biggest common thing that happens with adding a toner onto blonde is, okay, if we're going to put a 9 on her, we can't lift her to just an 8. She needs to be a 9 or above, correct? So this is something that I teach throughout all of my classes, is like, you are not going to get the tonal result of what you're looking for unless you get the lift beforehand, okay? So we have to make sure that we are lifting our blondes high enough that we can really deposit that color on there, okay? So what I've done is I've mixed that 9GB in my bowl, and we're gonna mix this up. I'm gonna add a little bit of dream oil as well to my formula. And I mean, y'all, this is the thing. Y'all have seen the toning process, you've seen the highlighting process and all this, but I know a lot of you are new to Prorituals. So I've mixed up the 9GB with our 5-volume developer. The biggest thing too is, like, I want to make sure that this color gets deposited evenly and evenly saturated throughout the hair, okay? Actually, I think her hair's gonna need a little bit more products. I'm gonna mix a little bit more of this in there. So the biggest thing for me is making sure that the saturation and the product gets distributed evenly, okay? So I'm gonna add a little bit more product. Her hair is kind of deceiving. It's like, seems like it's like fine or whatever, but she's got a lot of hair in there. All right. So a little bit of this up. All right, so because we can just go scalp to ends on this, I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit. I wanna talk to y'all about the metallic series, because here's the thing. I think a lot of users, when this line came out, we thought, metallic, what is that? We don't know what that is. And then they're scared of it, and they see the swatches, and they're thinking, who would I put that on? What am I gonna do with that, right? So I'm also gonna open up this book here. This is the original little brochure that we had before we got the swatches out. So we're gonna zoom in on that a little bit. And we have a mixture of really great metallic colors that we can add to that. So no matter whether you've got a level 9, a level 10, you've got a little bit of something for everyone, okay? So I'm gonna go around the hairline here using the 9GB. All right, just putting this all throughout her roots first, so I'm gonna pull it through the ends. I'm sorry. All right, sorry about that, guys. I was had a little tickle in my throat. Okay, now we're back. So the metallic series, what I like to use these on are really any of my really beautiful blondes. So some of my blondes like to have more of that purple hue. Some of them like to have more of that pink hue. I don't have too many blondes that like more of that golden. There really isn't a lot of golden, I would say, within the metallic series. It is a pearl-based color, okay? Now, I will tell you that this color here in particular, the 12 VCG here, is a fantastic copper, golden, kind of rose gold color. I really like to encourage everyone to try that. I know some of you have looked at the swatches and been like, I'm too scared to try that, or I don't want to use that on someone's hair. I'm scared to put that, you know, on my client's hair. The biggest thing that I can say is when you have someone that cuts off a lot of their hair, maybe try to hold on to that hair and make yourself some swatches so you can kind of reference back to that. There are times when you're looking at the swatch book and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm not really sure how this is going to relate, right, whenever I put this on my client's hair. So having your own personal reference on a swatch of hair that you know your client is going to be sort of that level of lift, that's a perfect way to sort of use your own little swatches there too as well. I'm going to spin her around here. But I just really wanted to touch on the fact that the metallics tend to be a little scary on that swatch, but they're really not. When you see this rinsed out, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is an amazing color. This glacial blonde is the most perfect, like pure white as snow color. I use this on a lot of my blondes. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram or Facebook, but I post a ton of my blondes on there, and I'll tend to put the formulas with them. So if you ever have questions about anything, feel free to message me on there about that as well, or go to the Prorituals professional users page, because we're really trying to direct everyone to that page so that if anybody has questions, we can help reference back to that, especially those who are just new to the line, okay?
And what did you use to pre-lighten her?
To pre-lighten her? Oh, the blue liner. Show it again. Okay. Once again, we use the blue lightener to pre-lighten her first with the 20 volume. We're just wanting to get that a little closer so you can see. Yeah, let's show that again with the green oil. All right, so another little thing I like to do is with the super lift or the high lift in here. These are some of my favorite colors to use, especially the Silver Pearl 10 SP. So y'all, you can use these as toners. So if you feel like one of your clients, this would look perfect on their hair, please feel free to use it. And those can also be mixed with the metallic series. So don't be afraid to start diving in and mixing things, because here's the thing, you really can't go wrong with this line. Honestly, it's one of those types of lines that you can go in and you can mix really every single one of these metallics together and see what you get. That's the fun of being a hairdresser, right? We can mix things together and we can have fun with hair. I think there are times where things get so serious that we're like, what do we use? I don't know. You know what I mean? So we're really trying to bring the fun back into blondes. Another thing is I really want to address the fact that lived in color, we're kind of done with it, right? We're over it, because here's the thing. Clients come in and get their lived in color. The toner wears off in the meantime, right? If they're not coming back for like 6 months. So what we're trying to do is create a new movement of blondes, making America blonde again, right? So after all of this craziness going on, we really want to like give our clients a whole new look, whether it be a makeover, whether maybe they have brown hair and they're just wanting to go for something completely new. Let's do it. Like, let's dive into some of these new metallic colors, like any of these well, I will tell you my personal favorite, the 10.21, the Ash Blonde Iridescent Platinum. It's amazing. We actually put it on Emily's hair. We'll put a picture online to show you what that looks like, but that color is amazing. And when we're going through here, I'm just sectioning through it right now, but I just want to talk about the fact that we're trying to change our industry at the same time with color, right? Because for so many years, we really haven't had any new trends, okay? Everything's kind of been the same. So we're really trying to create that new movement of new colors. So meaning on the scalp blonde. But the thing is, with on the scalp blonde, we have to make sure that we've done the steps of prepping the hair to make sure that, one, we can get her to that level that day. We have to know what is on her hair. And when we're going through the steps, when we did the consultation with Christiana, I was asking her about what she's put on her hair before. She tells me she does it at home. Her mom is actually a hairstylist. So when we ask those questions about what's previously on your hair, do you have any color? And people will sometimes come out and they'll say, you know, I think it's been about a year, so there's no more color in there. Well, if her hair is this long and it's been a year, there is color in there. So we know that, of course, right? But we have to ask those questions about the previous history of the hair, because if it's a new guest that has sat in your chair and then you have no idea what's been previously on their hair, her hair, that can result in non-good things. That's why the clarification process before the lightening is important. That's why adding all of these great things like the hydrate and the dream oil and the spray treat, we're building the hair up while we're breaking it down. So as I get this going through here, I'm also going to talk about the high lift series. So high lift and the super lift are great products because I have a lot of younger girls that also come in here. So say they've got no color in their hair. This is the first time they've ever colored their hair, right? So what I tend to do is put that in a foil, which I actually want to show you these amazing new foils from Prorituals. I don't know that you guys have tried these yet, but these are our new gold foils. They're a little wider, which I really like. And then also, as you're doing foils with the high lift or with color, you can use one side for the highlight, one side for the low light, okay? So you can kind of mix that up. So when I'm doing the hair, usually, and I've got 2 different colors, I'm gonna flop those back and forth so I know which is my high and which is my low. All right, so like I was saying, with the high lift, I have a tendency to use that on people that either have never colored their hair before. It's a nice subtle change so that way we're not putting lightener on, it's just kind of lifting naturally. It's not adding any extra stress to the hair, especially if they're nervous about highlighting just in general. There's several things that go into that I know that first-time hair color clients can be a little concerned about. So that typically makes for a great first-time client that's never colored their hair. You can put that in a foil. I actually do use it on the scalp as well. Just depends on what that consultation looks like with your client. Another great thing I want to talk about is using some of the metallics as your low light. So I actually was using the 7CP, which is that medium brown there on this swatch, as a low light the other day. I added a little bit of 7B to that as well. I had a client that came in and she had, well, this was her first time into me, but she came in and her hair was quite overly processed, but it was almost like a yellow color. I don't know if the toner maybe had fallen off, or maybe the stylist just hadn't got her lifted as high as what she would have liked it to be, maybe. What I did, instead of actually putting highlights in her hair, because, so if you can imagine, she had a full head of like medium length hair, and it just looked solid one color, right? Which is okay if it all goes together and if it all blends. But when we want dimension in the hair, but we still want it to look blonde, there's different things that we can add in there within the metallic series that work great for low light. So like I was saying, the 7CP, I put in as a low light with a little bit of the 8B from our regular series. And once I took her back to the sink, I basically did a weave all the way around the head, starting in the back, moved to the front with 5 volume. And when I put that in there, rinsed it out, what I did at the back bar was I emulsified it a little bit, added a little bit of purple shampoo, and then I put the hydrate and I emulsified it in. And when I did that, it sort of toned out the blonde. I left that in for about 3 minutes. And I just pulled that all throughout the hair. It was the most gorgeous blonde that I had ever seen. It gave her dimension, so she had her low light, but then she also had the toning of the low light kind of emulsified throughout the hair, right? So as we see this working, if Emily, if you'd like to move a little closer with the camera, we can kind of see how that white is really starting to turn up in there. All right, I'm gonna pull this throughout the hair. Looking here to see all the other things that I'd like to go over with y'all. If you're not using the Prorituals board, I will say that this is an amazing tool. Like I said, when we're talking about lived-in color and balayage and things like that, you know how I was just mentioning that we're trying to move out of that trend and into new trends. But this board is an amazing way to put your weave in there, and then you can kind of tease with the roots to get a little bit of that color up a little closer. If you're not using a board, I highly suggest that you do. Just I know a lot of people, it can be uncomfortable using new tools. So I want to encourage you to really be stepping outside of the box and sort of utilizing new tools that we have to offer with the brand. Prorituals has done a really great job about trying to offer all of these things to y'all and really expand the color line in the series and the biggest thing today was the metallics, because I know that a lot of people had questions about them online, and I want you to continue to have questions. Like I said, use that Prorituals professional page to go on there after you start experimenting with it, post on there, talk about it, ask questions, because that's the only way that you're really going to learn is if you ask difficult questions. What I want to have Emily do again is to kind of scan over to some of the metallic colors that are on the table as I'm working this through. And then I'm going to go through and kind of talk about a few of those with you. So starting first, the 10 IIC. So this one is the one I was telling you about that's going to have that kind of pinkish undertone, but it works as a really great translucent color. There isn't really a wrong skin tone for this per se, so you can pretty well put this on anyone that you just want to give that really pretty soft blonde. It has a little translucent pink undertone to it. The 10 SP, which is our second one here. This one is another one of my favorites to give that sort of silvery, beautiful undertone to the hair. I'm also going to show you that on the swatch so you can kind of see the silver pearl. And that's part of our high lift. It's right here. I'm going to zoom in on that. Talk about, so difference, you know, we've got our super lift and we've got our high lift. So you're gonna see those colors here as well. The 10S, it's also part of our high lift series. Now, when we're talking about the high lift, once again, you know, there's so many different things that you can do with these colors. Like I said, put them in foils, put them on the scalp, run them through the hair. They turn out beautifully. The next one is the 9GB, which is what we put on Christiana. And this is sort of my go-to. The glacial blonde is really my go-to for that white, snow white, beautiful blonde look, but we have to get the hair to a level 9 or a level 10. Absolutely has to be there. The next one is the 12AV. So that's ash violet blonde. When I use these super lifts, I use these a lot of times on the scalp blondes, but I also can mix them in as toners to tone the hair. But the one thing that I will say, you have to have that hair at a level 12, and you don't want it to lift too much if their hair is not already naturally lighter in some spots, because you can get a little tone imbalance there if you're putting it on somebody that's got also a level 8 in there. The next one is the 10IP. The ash blondes. This one is amazing on the hair, especially, like I said, once again, I cannot reiterate this enough with the fact that you have to get the hair light enough first. So if this is like their first session of blonde, this is probably like these 10 series, you know, are better if they're on really, really blonde hair at 10, 11, 12, okay? The 10NP, we actually put the 10NP on one of my clients the other day, and that picture is actually up on the Prorituals professional users page. We put this all over her hair as a toner. It was the most beautiful, like almost, actually on her hair, it turned out a little, in some spots, it was a little buttery blonde, and then other spots it was like a platinum, just based on she had come from some grown out roots, and we did all on the scalp color on her. The next color is 12P, which is part of our super lift series. Once again, I'm just going over all of these swatches with you because I want you to see them and explain them as I go along with this training. The next one is the let me see, 12. I'm going to show you the swatch too here. ECG. So I'm going to put the swatch up here in the book. I just want you to reference back to that so you can see. A lot of my natural redheads actually love this over top as a toner. So if you've got a client that's coming in and they have naturally that beautiful kind of red color and you put highlights over it, this is a great toner for them because it gives them dimension within their hair, that way they can get a little bit of dimension with high and low depending on what their natural level is starting with. Okay. Next color is the 9CP. I actually really enjoy the CP series. I use this as a toner over my highlights quite a bit. So I mix that 9 CP with a 5 volume, and that it turns out really beautiful, as well as the 7 CP. Here we go, get a little closer. And that's the one I was telling you that I moved, or that I placed in with a low light the other day. I want to get a close in on that. Okay, perfect. I mixed that with a little bit of 8B in there. That was absolutely gorgeous. Next is the 10 CP. Please don't be afraid to use the CP series. I know, like I said, on this, if you have this paper brochure, it's hard to reference back to that, but it turns out so beautiful. The next one is the 10SA. The 10SA is another one that I love to use for toning. Get a little closer in there. Okay, and then the last one is the, let's see, the 10PA. All right, show a little close up on that. And that one is going to have your most like ash undertone to it. It comes out beautifully. That's Emily. And so I'm going to go back over here to check on our toning process here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get her rinsed out. We're going to blow dry her, and then we'll be back with the final results so you'll be able to see all of that. Okay? Thank you. I just wanted everyone to see now the end results of our highlight, well, our on the scalp lightener. So after I took her to the bowl, once again, I just rinsed her out, put a little bit of conditioner in, brought her back. I put spray treat here. I put a little bit of the, let's see, the Dream Cream, and then the Glow Shine. So I was just kind of standing back, misting this on, getting that great, great color. So I brought in the ring light a little closer so that you could really see that color. I'm going to take some photos and post those to the professional users page so that everybody can see. If anybody has questions about what we did today, would love to answer those. I'm going to show you both the swatches as well. So the 9GB, this is the swatch that I did with the extension. This is the swatch. So everything, you know, depending on what the hair pre-lightens to, you're going to get a great, awesome, very crystal clear, almost blonde out of this, which we love. I think our model is super happy with her hair. I'm going to let you see her face here. And so, so yeah, we just loved having this finished result, and I hope that everybody enjoyed today's class. And you know, we appreciate everyone for being patient with us as we're learning the Zoom and trying to figure out all the kinks and everything. But we're happy to give you this amazing result with the Prorituals and the blondes and the lighteners and all the above. So we hope that you have fun with the metallics, and we hope that you learned something new today. Thanks so much for tuning in.